guys, it's Melanie, and in today's video I'm going to talk about seam rippers. I have been using this seam ripper most of the time. My mom gave this to me when I very first started sewing. It was from her sewing kit, and it's been fine, except when I started doing buttonholes. I went to do a buttonhole the other day, and I did a test one, and I went to go cut the slit for the buttonhole, and this one just like shredded my fabric. And I thought, what on earth? Then I remembered, oh, this one is really old. I probably need to get a new one. So I went to the store, and there's about 1,000 seam rippers at the store, right? So I thought I would buy a couple, try them out, and then let you guys know which one I like the best. So when you're sewing, it is really important to have a good seam ripper. The tip part is not that important for that to be sharp, because when you're just picking out stitches, that's not a big deal. But really the blade part and the little curved portion of the seam ripper really needs to be sharp. It does serve a specific function, and if it's not sharp, you're not going to get a good result. So the first one that I bought is just another run-of-the-mill, basic Dritz seam ripper. $3 or so at the local craft store. And this one is fine. The blade was actually fairly sharp. I was impressed with the sharpness of the blade. The thing I didn't like about this one as much is the handle is kind of okay. It looks very similar to the handle that from the one my mom gave me from the 70s. So design-wise, hasn't really improved or changed much. The thing about this one is that it's quite a large, this little poker on the end. I don't know, I'm sure that there's a much more scientific term for it, but this little, the part that sticks out that you can pick stitches out with is really big, really big. And so maybe for bigger things this would be okay, but in comparison to the Clover, Clover is a great brand. Every Clover thing I bought I like. I really like this kind of handle, the wood handle, and it's tiny, which maybe you wouldn't like that, but like with the rotary blade that I talked about, I like the slender handles. It feels good in my hands. I just like that feeling a little bit better. And the tip on this guy, I'm just going to show you a close-up, don't worry, is tiny. And really when you're picking out stitches, the smaller the better in my opinion. So the blade is just as sharp on this one, and I just liked this one a little bit better. This one was maybe $1 more, not a lot more. They also have ones, Dritz sells ones that have a much more ergonomic handle. I didn't buy any of those because I generally don't like those. They feel a little bit clunky in my hand. I just tend to like these kind of things. In terms of the sharpness of the blade, that was fine. So when I needed to do my buttonholes, that was no big deal. It was the size of the little poker doodaddy thing up here that was the factor for me. So this is the next one that I wanted to try. When I worked at a fabric store when I lived in Hawaii and I was teaching classes there, they got this in, and they were telling me that everybody's been raving about this seam ripper, and it was like the greatest thing. So when I needed a new seam ripper, I was like, oh, I need to find this. I should have just bought it from my girls at the sewing store, but I didn't. So I did get this on Amazon. It's about $8, which is twice as much as some of the other ones. The thing about this one is it serves a couple of different functions, which is kind of nice. It has a very slender tip and a nice sharp blade, just like the Clover. So I like that about this one. And then also, I'll show you up close what it does, but you have this one side, these two little rubber ends, and they help when when you're ripping out a seam, and then you got this thread everywhere. There's thread on the top, there's thread on the bottom, and there's just everywhere, and then you're picking it out, or you're using tweezers, and it's just kind of annoying. So this one, it functions as, it helps you pull the threads out, and then this little kind of honeycomb thing, just you kind of run it along. I'll show you close up, and it kind of gathers up all the little threads for you. So I like that this is kind of a multi-purpose tool in one. It's called the Seam Fix. So I guess this one is probably my favorite. My second favorite being the Clover. Having that slender tip really is kind of a must for me. I probably will only use the big guy when I can't find the other two. Then I'll use this one. So let me know below what your favorite seam rippers are, or your favorite sewing room little gadgets and tools and all the little fun things that we get to use. And all the information will be linked below, the prices on all of these, the names of them, where you could find them if you'd like. Leave me any comments below if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.